Morning, everyone. This is Rahul Sharma, a Vedic practitioner from Chicago. Today, I will be releasing my video number 146 and the true significance of the Daan or the donation. And also, I'm going to make an appeal for the donation for upcoming project in Chicago. And of course, there's a lot of information which has been taken from multiple discourses from my Gurudev Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, Mata Bhagavati Devi Sharma, and their work of translating Vedas and Puran in Hindi, which I could read and understand, and I could able to narrate now. So let's understand the very first thing about donation, the most important thing which we all relate to. One of the religious book is Bhagavad Gita. In this chapter 17, Stranger 20, Sattvic दान का श्रेष्ठ श्लोक in Hindi is dat vyamiti jadanam diyate anupukharine deshe kale cha patre cha tadanam satvikam smratam. In Hindi it means जो दान देना चाहिए इस भाव से बिना प्रत्युपकार की इच्छा के योग्य स्थान, योग्य समय और योग्य पात्र को दिया जाता है, वह सात्विक दान कहलाता है. इसके जो बेनिफिट्स है, लाभ, ये सात्विक दान से मन की शुद्धि होती है, क्रम फल का नाश होता है और मोक्ष का मार्ग प्रशस्त करता है. यह दाता को आत्मिक उन्नति प्रदान करता है. Now I'm going to explain you in English why it is so important. It was stated in multiple spiritual books. The charity which is given with the feeling it ought to be given without expectation of return at the proper place, at the proper time, and then to a worthy person, such charity is said to be in the mode of goodness, or which is sattvic. The benefit of giving such donation is sattvic donation will purify the mind, it will destroy the bondage of karma, it will pave the way to liberation, which is moksha, and grants the spiritual freedom to the giver. And I'm going to talk about why it is the proper place, proper time, and worthy person, so you can make your decision when I am going to make the appeal of that. At the same time, people who doesn't understand Hindi or English, there's a Gujarati translation you can read yourself. And then it's another important shloka is from the Rig Veda. Okay, reference is already given here. Na va una deva nambartya it yo data sa jivati. In हिंदी ऋग्वेद में कहा गया है कि जो देता है वही सच्चा जीवन जीता है. दाता कभी कम नहीं होता. जो दान नहीं करता है उससे क्षमा करने वाला भी कोई नहीं मिलता. उसका लाभ क्या है? दान से जीवन पूर्ण होता है, धन में वृद्धि होती है और ईश्वर की कृपा प्राप्त होती है. Now for my friends who understand English, the Rig Veda, which is one of the oldest 4 literature books available, which was written by Maharshi Vyas 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. One of that shlok tells us, one who gives truly lives. The giver never diminishes. One who doesn't give finds no forgiver. So benefit is donation makes life complete, increases wealth, and attracts the divine grace. You might be giving the donation, but I'm going to explain you what is the best way, best place, best person to give the donation. My friends who understand Gujarati, they can read by themselves what Rig Veda has said. There are so many other references given in various Hindu scriptures, which I am not calling out here because this presentation is already very long. But my Gurudev Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, his perspective about Daan is that he connects the concept of Daan or donation with the spirit of Yagna. When we conduct Yagna almost every day or every Sunday in our temples or every day in Shanti Kunj Haridwar, the headquarters, is always talk about one of the philosophy of the donation with the spirit of Yagna or the sacred sacrifice. According to his teaching, we need to do our spiritual development, the Atmik Vikas. The donation is not merely about giving away money or material possession. It is also about surrendering one's ego or ahankar and the tendency to hold or accumulate for our future generation, or it will be helpful for me in future if something happens. True donation transforms the giver by releasing attachment to the material wealth and cultivating humility and selflessness. The second donation is for the Samaj Nirman or social transformation. Through donation, harmony and brotherhood increases in society. When we give selflessly, we strengthen the bonds of compassion, reduce the inequality, and create a culture of mutual support. Daan becomes the foundation of a just and caring society. And towards the end, I'm going to connect the dots with this social transformation. The third one is liberation from the debt. We already have inappropriate debt, and we need to get liberation from that. So we are indebted to the society and nature for everything we receive. From the air we breathe to the knowledge we gain. Donation is the means to free ourselves from these three fundamental debts of Dev Rin, Rishi Rin, and the Pitra Rin. So we need to be doing all those work to get rid of our debt, because we have been using as we took birth in this society. The fourth one is the era transformation, the Yug Nirman, which Gurudev has emphasized throughout his life. For the thought revolution, era transformation, the Yug Nirman, the donation of time, donation of labor and wealth is absolutely essential. He envisioned a new era where individuals would actively contribute their resources, not just money, but their time, skills, and energy to create a spiritually awakened and morally uplifted society. And with all those things, why I am covering this topic today? So over the past 60 years, more than 600,000 Indian immigrants have made the Midwest US as their home. Of course, there are a lot of immigrants in other countries also. This applies to them also. But right now, I'm making this appeal specifically for the Midwest in US. So more than 600,000 Indian immigrants have made their home in Midwest. From a handful of pioneering families in 1960 to thriving communities of 700,000 today, ballpark, we have built successful lives here while staying connected to our spiritual roots. With a deep desire to connect our culture and roots with our culture, we built temples. Now, as of today, total Hindu temples in Midwest is around 60 to 80 temples, which represents 15 to 18% of all Hindu temples in USA. Primary focus of this 60 to 80 temples in Midwest has been limited to the ritualistic worship, the Murti Puja, the community bonding through festivals, Garba dance, and other things, cultural preservation for immigrant family, and the religious service like ceremonies, weddings, and giving the hall for rental for your personal need. What is the unique void with all those 60 to 80 temples, which none of these 60 to 80 temples provide? So Gurudev Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya vision of Gayatri Gyan Mandir or Pragya Peeth or Shakti Peeth, whichever way you want to call it, is a revolutionary paradigm shift. While traditional temples serve all those 600,000 in Midwest Indian immigrants with the worship spaces, but none of them provide what a true Gayatri Shakti Peeth or Gayatri Gyan Mandir or Knowledge Center envisions for era transformation through individual transformation. Gurudev has already given the slogan Yug Nirman Vyakti Parivartan Se, a new Gayatri Gyan Mandir temple, which is upcoming in Itasca. We are going to focus on inner transformation through Vedic knowledge. As I mentioned, Vedas are available for 4 to 5,000 years. Most people has not even able to understood the true meaning and philosophy until Gurudev has translated them into Hindi, and we started reading it, and they have a spiritual scientific center in Haridwar. Then the true Vedic knowledge started emerging. The method is very simple: systematic study of Vedic wisdom, Gayatri sadhana, practical spirituality. As a result, the permanent character development and life transformation is happening. Gurudev has mentioned मंदिर तो बहुत हैं, पर ज्ञान मंदिर कहाँ है? He always focus on ज्ञान मंदिर or ज्ञान गंगा rather than having a dip in the physical river in Haridwar. He always mentioned have a dip in the knowledge what our literature like Vedas and Puran has given. So we need to talk about that, and Gayatri Gyan Mandir is going to provide you that. The second important void which is going to be filled by Gayatri Gyan Mandir is the individual character building, Vyakti Nirman. Then this new temple will provide the systematic character building program which will teach the 24 Mahapragya principle. Out of those Mahapragya 24 sutra or formula, 24 letter is taken from the Gayatri mantra, which has 24 letters, 24 syllables, but the key of them is the self-discipline, the Atma-Sanyam, the time management, the Samay Prabandhan, the health consciousness, the Swasthya Chetana, the service orientation of Seva Bhavna, and the ethical living or Niti Nishta. Duration, this temple will provide lifelong transformation journey on Gurudev's vision of Yug Nirman ka Adhar, Vyakti Nirman. So era transformation is based on the individual transformation. Hum badlenge, yug badlega. Unless we are willing to change, nothing is going to change. The world is going to remain the same. And we can keep blaming the world. Oh, world is like that. Other important thing is era transformation. The Yug Nirman not just by temple going, but new temple Gayatri Gyan Mandir mission is create the Vichar Kranti, the thought revolution for 21st century bright future slogan of Gurudev. What is the approach? Proactive. The training change makers. Impact, radiating the transformation in the society. And the four pillars of Yug Nirman or era transformation is the thought revolution, Vichar Kranti, the scientific spirituality education through our regular worship in the temple, or when somebody invite any volunteer from Gayatri Gyan Mandir at their home to conduct any of the spiritual ceremony or any sanskar, all of the volunteers are trained to explain in the scientific way and with analogy and logic, which even a child of today can understand, and they will never counter the argument for that. So scientific spirituality education, critical thinking based on the Vedic wisdom, rational faith, the Vivek Shraddha, the true meaning of the Lord Ganesha and the Hans Buddhi. They're breaking the superstitions while preserving the essence. Most people know the mantra of the sanskar, but they are again promoting the blind faith. What Gayatri Gyan Mandir or under Gurudev's guidance we are going to do is we're going to break the superstition but preserve the true essence of the Vedic culture and all the sanskar which has been created. Then social transformation, Samaj Parivartan, the family counseling centers, not like a regular government of US kind of thing, but from the Vedic culture, what was taught in our marriage ceremonies, youth empowerment program, women's leadership development, addiction, de-addiction program, addiction to good habits and de-addiction to the bad habits, ethical business practice training, and then cultural renaissance, which is Sanskar Kranti, not just preserving but evolving culture for modern times, making Vedic wisdom relevant to the corporate professionals, tech workers, second generation youth, Western educated Indians, many of them are second and third generation here now. So they need to understand the true meaning which they can correlate. The four figure, as we discuss how we are going to have the practical life integration. Teaching is applied spirituality through practice in life, which is 24/7. That's going to be coming through these four pillars of the Yug Nirman Yojana. What is the practical program? For professionals, we run stress management through Gayatri meditation. We can also conduct the stress management workshops in your corporate office. You can invite, set up a time, and someone from our volunteer team can go and do that. Ethical decision making in corporate world. Work-life spiritual balance. For families, baby shower ceremony as parenting workshop based on Vedic principles, explaining responsibility and accountability of each family member, including husband, in-laws, and the society. Marriage counseling with spiritual wisdom, celebrating marriage anniversary every year with Vedic ways, reminding about the commitments made during the marriage, all those Sattvic, and the financial planning with dharmic values and 10% teething money for generations. For youth, practical program is career guidance with purpose discovery, addiction prevention and recovery, and leadership development program. For seniors, graceful aging with spirituality, legacy planning and value transfer, and wisdom sharing platform. Fifth item is this scientific approach to the spirituality. Approach is evidence-based spiritual science. Method is experiment, experience, validate. Prayog, Anubhav, Praman. Proof, try it yourself and verify. Research and Education Center, which is well established in Shantikunj headquarters since 1972 or 1980s. I have visited that once, where we have modern neuroscience of meditation, the psychology of mantra chanting, the physiology of the pranayam, the sociology of the ethical living, the economics of the sustainable development. What is the benefit of visitors to Gayatri Gyan Mandir? They have opportunity to travel and witness it during youth camp in Shanti Kunj headquarters in Haridwar, which other temples may not claim to provide you that. So what we are doing now, the current location in Itasca is very small and we are not able to cater the need of even within the Chicago. Forget about the Midwest. Now we are creating 24,000 square feet, 3-story Gayatri Gyan Mandir in the same location. The gap what we are going to fill is in the Midwest, we have built beautiful temples for our deities. We have preserved our festivals and rituals. This is commendable and necessary. But गुरुदेव पंडित श्रीराम शर्माचार्य asked a revolutionary question. मंदिरों में भगवान तो विराजमान हैं, पर उनके आदर्शों को जीवन में उतारने वाले कहाँ हैं? And we see that void all the time. That's the reason in temples, God are enshrined, but where are those who embody their ideas in life? The Gayatri Gyan Mandir is not just another temple. It will be a university of life, where Vedic wisdom will meet modern challenges. A character factory, which will provide ethical leaders for 21st century. A transformation hub where individuals become instruments of social change. A research center where we will validating ancient wisdom with modern science. A service platform addressing the society's pain point through spiritually empowered team. So that is 24,000 square feet upcoming temple in next 3 years. So the purpose of this video is appeal for the donation. On behalf of the Gayatri Gyan Mandir trustees and all the members, I appeal you for providing a generous donation. We call it a square foot sponsorship campaign. So build tomorrow's leaders 1 square feet at a time. Very simple concept. The total space is 24,000 square feet. The plan is under approval. Construction cost as of today is around $250 per square feet. If you can share 10 square feet per family member of sponsorship, and you can make payment for next 3 years, your name will be recognized on the sponsor's wall in the temple. And how is going to contribute? We need $6 million to construct this temple. The 10 square feet per family member times 250 cost of construction is around 2,500 donation per person. It's spread over 3 years, not a big amount. Anyone can do that with simple math. Now, if you are a family of 4, I would urge to donate for each member, because tomorrow they all will have their own children. They will all will have their generations, and this temple is going to provide that kind of help to their generation also. So all family members should contribute at least $2,500 for the 10 square feet of this temple space in next 3 years. So for 4 people, 10 square feet, 40 square feet for your family would be sponsoring this temple square feet. That is around $10,000 only for per family, spread over 3 years. That means we are talking about only $278 per month of your donation for next 36 months. That kind of commitment we need from you before this temple can done. Good thing is we already have some early donors. I want to recognize their name. Paras Kayas, a business entrepreneur and owner right from Chicago. He has committed for $300,000. Harendra Mangrola from Chicago, who is also the trustee of the temple. He already committed for $221,000 as of now, but he's going to give more. Bipin Bhai Desai, also from Chicago, who's already committed for $100,000. It's just to trigger your thought and your desire to become one of those family members to contribute for your generations to come. There are some examples in the past where people who might complain, oh, I don't have money, I already have a lot of debts, I'm new to the country, I don't have the money. For them, I have these 2 wonderful stories. The best example of the donors. One is the Dashrath Manjhi. We also call them mountain men. His background is the Dashrath Manjhi from 1934 born to 2007 was a very poor laborer from Ghalur village in Bihar, India. He had no wealth, no formal education, and belonged to the marginalized Mushar community, considered one of the lowest social group in Indian's caste hierarchy. What he gave as a donation, when his wife Falguni Devi died because of medical help could not reach her in time due to massive mountain blocking the only path to the nearest hospital, which a 70-kilometer detour because of the mountain was required. Dashrath made an extraordinary decision. For next 22 years, from 1960 to 1982, using only a hammer, chisel, and crowbar, that was his asset, no money, he single-handedly carved a 360-foot long, 30-foot wide, and 25-foot high path through the mountain. He gave his time of 22 years of relentless labor, his physical strength working from dawn to dusk despite ridicule from villagers, his determination continuing despite having no resources or support. Impact, his selfless donation of labor reduced the distance between Atri and Wazirganj from 55 kilometers to just 15 kilometers. You can imagine the impact on society, saving countless lives by providing access to medical facility and markets in very short time. He gave everything what he had, his asset, his time, his labor, but something more precise, his entire life energy. So people can do that. Even if you don't have money, you can still do better with whatever you have. And if you are anywhere in the world, you can donate from any place. The second example from US I want to bring up is Oseola McCarty, the washerwoman who gave her life savings. The background is Oseola McCarty, from 1908 born and died in 1999, was an African American washerwoman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi in US. She left school in the 6th grade to care for her family and never married or had children. She spent her entire life washing and ironing clothes for others, earning very modest wages. What she gave in 1995 at age 87. So even somebody who is listening to this video, they are senior citizen, you can learn from this example. Oseola donated $150,000, her entire life savings, to the University of Southern Mississippi to establish a scholarship fund for African American students who couldn't afford the college education. Now this money represented the 75 years of hard work, every dollar saved from washing clothes, a lifetime of sacrifice. She lived in a tiny house, never owned a car, and led an extremely frugal life. Her entire security, we all try to save our 401k and our funds, our stock, but her entire security, she gave away everything she had accumulated, keeping only enough for basic survival. Impact, her donation established the Oseola McCarty Scholarship, which has helped numerous students achieve their educational dream because of generosity inspired others, and with additional donations poured in after that, matching donations, multiple initial gift many times over. She received the Presidential Citizen Medals from President Bill Clinton. So these are the examples just to get rid of your excuses, or that I am new to the country, or I don't have the fund, or I have looking to do all those things. So this should encourage you to think about this appeal. So as an action item, be the one of those fortunate to contribute for this noble cause of creating a center in Midwest, which is different than the other 60 temples, for your culture and future generation. How you can do that? Confirm your commitment of sponsoring 10 square feet or multiple of it, and sign the commitment form available through this website, GGM, which is Gayatri Gyan Mandir expansion.org. There is a form there, you can fill that form. Or you can directly donate if you just want to donate one time. There's a PayPal link which goes there, and you can directly donate there. If you really want to learn more about the donations, its benefits, or its anything pros and cons, read the two recommended books. One is Give and Take: Why Helping Others Drives Our Success by Adam Grant. This will work for you to understand because it's 100% secular, from Wharton Business School professor with scientific research, evidence-based, practical, and resonates with the Karma Yoga principle in our Gita. The other book is The Go-Giver, which I have personally read it, by Bob Burg and John David. And why this book is so powerful is in a parable format. You will enjoy reading the book like a story. Universal Message: The 5 Laws of Strographic Success Through Giving Only. Business Philosophy, and it resonates with Seva, service, or the Daan philosophy. So I will highly encourage to read this book. If you have any questions about any of this content, feel free to send me an email at rahulrenusharma@gmail.com, or feel free to write comments under the video. I will highly encourage that please donate generously, and please forward this video to every one of your friend and circle, no matter which part of country or world they are in. Anybody can contribute for this noble cause for the temple. With this, thank you everyone.